Hey, what's up, guys? Kingpin P here. Lockdown picks. It is week 2. Week 1 we did all right. Now 2-2-1. Not winning day, but in this pool, 2.5 points is big. I'm currently tied for 43rd place. A few people went 5-0. It's all right. We have a long season here, but I just try to limit how many times am I going to be going 1-4, how many times am I going 1-5 or 0-5. 2-2-1's completely fine. Like I said, week 1, week 17 are the two hardest weeks. To get out of there with 2.5 points, I'll take it. I'll take it. So going into the picks this week. So obviously the Jaguars beat the Colts. And that's one of my plays is fading the worst team in the league according to my rankings. So in my rankings, the Jaguars have now moved up a spot. And there is a new worst team in the league, and that is the New York Jets. They looked absolutely terrible. Their offense is really bad. You hear reports coming out that before the season started, the second-team defense was beating the offense, and then the second-team offense was beating the defense in practice and smoking them on some plays, having picks and all this other stuff. Kind of hard to believe. And they come out and they played exactly like what the news reports were saying, bad. Le'Veon Bell got hurt. Jamison Crowder's questionable. Darnold makes the same mistakes all the time. It's unbelievable. So they're the worst team in the league. So my first pick is the 49ers. According to the system, my pool has a -6.5. Which makes me nervous, makes me feel like a lot of people are going to be taking the Niners, but it is what it is, and we're on the Niners. The next pick that I have, and I hate to have to do this. I lost last week with them. It's the Minnesota Vikings. Not how I thought that game was going to go. Kirk Cousins, allowing that safety after a huge fourth and goal stop at the 1. It really turned the tides there. Rodgers started airing it out. They really started attacking those young corners on the Vikings. It was a high-scoring game, but the Packers looked really good. But coming into this, the Vikings are +3. That just seems crazy to me. And they were +3 before the season started at week 2. And the Colts, looked disappointing. The spread should have changed. If the spread's Colts -2, maybe Colts pick them. I'm not picking this game at all. You're giving me a whole entire field goal. I have to take it. I really hope this isn't a game that's a push. I truly believe the Vikings can win straight up, but at +3, I have to take it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I hope a lot of other people aren't on it, but I think the Vikings +3. I think the Vikings come back. I don't know how many people actually watch the game, but Vikings +3 is pick number 2. Next pick. I don't know how many of you guys watch Monday Night Football. The Steelers-Giants game was interesting. The Giants looked way better than I thought, and then the Steelers looked kind of worse than I thought. Obviously Steelers won and everything, but I thought it would be more of a blowout type of game. So coming into this week, I thought about the Giants for a second, but they are just so sketchy. The fact that they couldn't get Saquon run... But then I was like, wait a minute, what about the Steelers didn't... Who are they playing this week? They're playing the Broncos. The Broncos came out hot. Granted, I went to bed. The game started at 10 o'clock at night. But they looked good. Woke up in the morning. They lost by 2. I covered that spread. I had the Broncos last week +3. And for the Broncos now to come back and be +7? 7? Are they +4? But I thought it was going to be 4.5. I thought that's a fair number. Even -5. -7? I have to take the Broncos. Give me the points. I don't understand the spread. Was everyone just asleep? No one really watched the game? The Broncos are not bad. And keeping it within 7, that is easy money for Drew Lock. And Drew Lock's going to be just like last night with Joe Burrow putting up the garbage points and backdoor cover. I can see backdoor cover. I can see the Broncos winning straight up. Broncos +7. That is pick number 3. Mark it down. Next pick. Talking about teams looking like shit, and I mean looking like shit, is the Philadelphia Eagles. A depleted wide receiver core, have both of your tight ends basically the only people that can catch the ball and do this and do that. Lane Johnson goes down, starting guard goes down, and Washington just comes out just with the D-line, putting stunts, doing everything. I think they had 5 sacks in the first quarter. You know what I mean? You let Chase Young, the rookie, get a strip sack fumble. It was unbelievable. And now they get to play the Rams. Rams came out. That game was just weird on Sunday night. It was super quiet. It was just a weird atmosphere to it. But The Rams beat the Cowboys, held them down. I thought it'd be a much high scoring game. It wasn't. The Rams came out and they knew what they were doing. We're going to pound the rock on this Cowboys defense, just run it right down their throats. And they get pressure on Dak and do all this other stuff and confuse him. And now they're going to get to play Carson Wentz, get to play these games with him. They must be laughing in that defensive meeting, ready to go. The spread is only 1. I understand. The Rams had a low profile or whatever coming into the season. Everybody's down on them. And there's also those things where people are like, Eagles can't go 0-2. Eagles have a chance to win the division. Like, how are they going to go? They're not going to go. They are going to go 0-2. And we're going to take the Rams +1 as a 4th pick. Easy. I really like that game a lot. And then the last pick, what was the last pick? Last pick was random number generator. Random number generator last week. Picked the Cardinals +6.5, and they won. Continuing what they did last year and continuously winning the stupid computer. Random number generator this week. It came Chargers +8.5 versus the Chiefs. Again, not a play I want to take. Not a play I wanted to put in, but you put it in. You trust the random number generator at all times, and that's a 5th play. So we have Chargers +8.5. I got Rams +1, Vikings +3, Broncos +7, and then we have the Niners -6.5. Those are my 5 picks for this week. Let's hope they do good. All right, so now for the second half of the show. So last week I went over a day in the life of medium security. This week I'll go in the day in the life of minimum security. So minimum security, just like medium security, we're working Monday through Friday, weekends off. So like medium security, a ton of people work. I'd say about 90% of the unit works compared to a lower amount in medium security. But also the units are smaller groups of people and all this other stuff. But we would have to wake up about 7:30 in the morning. Everyone would go down. There was different vans that would pick everybody up, maybe 4 or 5 guys in a van plus a guard. And he would take us to like the central base area, which is basically where you do your lunch breaks, where you hang out in the morning, have your coffee in the morning. There was a real coffee maker there, which is huge. We've been drinking instant coffee now, for over a year and a half. So it was great to switch to actual coffee at the time. Fun fact, it was actually the first time I ever drank coffee was there because it was free and everybody would drink it every morning. I've never had it in my life, so I actually tried it for the first time in minimum security working these jobs. So, but you had you had different jobs where you're working just like the maintenance crew outside of the actual complex, on the other side of the fence, cutting grass, doing different stuff. You're either picking up trash on the side of the road. Some people are cleaning the parks. People are working the housing authorities. People are doing all different kind of things. There's all different groups. Sometimes you'd have a permanent group, or maybe if you're waiting for someone to leave, then you're kind of just a floater. So I've been on a bunch of different jobs. I can get into that a different day. There could be a whole entire episode almost on how many different jobs were, especially in minimum security. But we would eat basically the same exact thing every single day. Every day. For a year and a half, I ate the same exact thing every day. You would get a bag. There would be bags of lunch. So there would be the coffee. You would have an apple. 3 cookies. You would have a bagel. There's no toaster. There's no microwave. There's no cream cheese. There's a tub of peanut butter. What else was there? You have a ham and cheese sandwich with mayonnaise and mustard packet. A Lay's potato chips. That's it. Every day. For a year and a half. So when I got out and I started making lunch when I went to work and different stuff, it was so easy because I'm so used to just eating the same thing mindlessly for lunch with absolutely no choice, all the time. So, like I said, work, there was a bunch of different jobs we did in different things, which I'll get into. I would say probably the hardest part about the work is that a lot of these guys, so a lot of people that are incarcerated, that I was with was under the age of 30. Or like 32 and under. And a lot of these guys have never worked a lawnmower, never worked a weed whacker. They live in apartment complexes. They live in the ghetto, the projects. They don't ever, but you also have to remember you're on the side of the prisoners. We're not a guard. So you can't be talking down to people, or you can't be acting better than, but at the same time you got to show them how a weed whacker works, how to pull the stuff through the wire through the weed whacker, how a lawnmower works. You can't get frustrated with them when they don't understand things. In different things that maybe you just knew growing up, or maybe from your dad, or just because you had a backyard, they didn't always know. And, I'd say that's probably the toughest part when I was doing stuff at work, was that there was moments where you wanted to get frustrated, but you didn't. But yeah, it's kind of cutting grass, doing different stuff like that. In the wintertime, we're shoveling snow. Remember, 12 cents an hour. we're out there shoveling snow for 12 cents an hour. Snow's falling. It's crazy. It's wild. Whoever's the oldest on every single crew, like time-wise, would get 24 cents an hour. So at one point, I think for like 2 or 3 months, I was actually 24 cents an hour when I was the eldest person on the crew. So basically we would do that. We'd get out of work maybe like 3:30 and 4, go back to the unit. Now the units are much smaller than medium. You know, it's probably like 30, 40 guys, where medium's like 90, 100 guys. So there's nothing on TV. We only have CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox. At 3:30, 4 o'clock today, put on any of those channels and just see how there's absolutely nothing on. There's fucking Dr. Oz and this other shit every single day. I hate those channels. It like gives me, oh my God, I absolutely hate them. So people would kind of like hang out and do that after work. You know, some people would be laying down, some people would shower and lay down. But basically we'd come back to work for a little while, and then pretty sure we'd be let outside. So laying outside was nice because they would let you outside with a different unit. There was only, I think, 5 units in minimum security. So it was like you and a different unit would be paired. You guys would go outside together, which is nice. You get to see people you don't always get to see on a day-to-day basis. You know, some units, a lot of guys play basketball, and then it also makes basketball. That's always what I was doing. Making basketball games better because you're not playing the same guys every day like you are in medium, because you only have who's in your unit. So we're kind of like rotating. And also in minimum, a lot of people are getting released basically every day, and new people are coming in. So it's an interesting cycle, and definitely makes basketball, at least in my mind, way more fun. It would come out, we would go to dinner. Dinner, unlike medium, was actually in a cafeteria, so you get to go down, wait in line, get a tray, sit down at a lunch table, just like you see in Goodfellas or the movies, except it's minimum and everyone's just hanging out doing nothing. Go back to your room. You know, people are playing cards. Unlike in medium security and minimum security, you're actually allowed to play cards, which is nice. So a lot of people are just playing cards at nighttime during the week. 2 days during the week, I was actually a tutor. So if people are there trying to get their GEDs or never graduated high school, you know, there was like a school that you would have to go to. Some people took it seriously, some people didn't. The people that did take it seriously and actually wanted to get their GED and understand that actually betters their lives and opens up opportunities, you know, I'm down to help these guys. So I would go, and there's teachers and there's workbooks where they're learning, and basically there's these 2 teachers that they used to teach public schools, now they're teaching this, and when they think that you're ready, you know, you have to do these practice books, and they would grade it, and then if you had questions or different stuff or teaching moments, they would teach it. And if they thought you were ready, they would let you take the test. Sometimes they would consult with me. There was one other tutor, super smart, like physics kid. I forgot why he got arrested. It was I don't know, but this kid was super, super smart. He was a tutor at other times as well. So I was there about 2 days a week. It's also the only time I was able to do homework. It was nice. We had a nice big desk in the classroom and different stuff where, you know, in the unit, our desks are much smaller. And it's also nice if I had a question on some of the stuff in my homework, I was able to ask the people that were teaching there as well. So that was cool. You know, I thought it was really fun too, just teaching people, you know, because some people really want to learn. Some people try to say that they don't know. I don't know how to do math and different stuff. And I would be like, dude, you've been selling drugs for 3-4 years. You're going to tell me you don't know how to do math? I was like, you're lying to me. And I would give them like, all right, so you get an ounce of cocaine. So we split this up and someone takes an eighth. This guy's taking 50 grams. How much and then I would break it down and they would be able to do all this mental math that they normally do on the streets every day. I was like, look how good you are at math. You just told me you didn't know how to do math. So now we're going to switch, and now we're going to have this problem where it's Sally bought 3 apples, and just Sally bought 3 bags of cocaine. Just switch it in your head while we're taking the test, and you'll be able to pass. You know, or, you know, simple things like if you have 2 red and black hats, 5, you know, red and black shirts, and then 2 pairs of Jordan sneakers that are red and black. How many outfits do you have? 20. You know, and I would show them the calculation and different stuff. I actually made a practice test. It was fun. You know, the Spanish guys sometimes, if they were uncomfortable with different things, you know, I was a mathematics major, but, you know, now I'm in finance. I can do mental math in Spanish now, just helping them do their homework so much and trying to learn and trying to show them stuff. You know, I really liked how much they loved history and thought history was cool because there's so much stuff they never learned or never even knew existed. You know, because a lot of these guys, when they're in the streets, like they don't even like be going on the internet or trying to learn. They don't have TV. They don't have anything. So I honestly, that was so fun and so fulfilling, you know, a few days a week getting to do that. And I really enjoyed it. So let's say after that, or the days I wasn't doing that, you know, a lot of times we're just playing cards. There's also the movie channel, and minimum security was much better. where you could actually ask the guard to get a movie, or you put in requests, and there was way updated videos, because you directly had access to the person playing the videos. Where in Medium, it's like I don't even know who's making that decision for thousands of people. Where this one it's a smaller group of people, 200 some people, which is nice. So the movie channel sometimes at nighttime would be lit. It would be nice. Talk on the phones at nighttime. So some of your only times to talk on the phone. It's a much smaller unit, but the same thing like Medium. Then you start cooking at nighttime, in different stuff. They're cooking the ramen meals like always. You kind of just get into a cycle like real quick. What are we doing on time? All right, 15 minutes. We're fine. So, you just get into a cycle every single day. And time honestly flies in minimum security. When you're about to be let out, they actually start putting you through these programs, last like 2 or 3 weeks. And when I tell you time drags when you get bopped out of that routine of going to work every day, getting out, taking a nap, doing this, doing that, playing cards, basketball, and then time starts to drag because you're in like this class from 9 to 10 in the morning. Then you don't have a class again until noon. Everybody's at work. The unit's dead. You're just laying in. You're like, oh, So then the weekends. So weekends were interesting. There was actually a full gym. No free weights, obviously, because people would kill each other. But there was like machines where you could like do this or close or do different stuff like that. And that was huge. And there was like weighted bars, and there was exercise balls, and like a huge area to work out. So a lot of people went on Saturday, Sunday mornings. They would let you go down and do that. So I would go and work out. There were certain workout hours. Then after the workout hours, they would let all 4 units or 5 units out to go outside. So instead of just being 2, all 5 could go outside. But everybody, and I mean like almost everybody's asleep. There are very few people actually go outside. It's usually just a group of people playing basketball, or the older guys that just want to walk laps around the entire place. Which is nice because then you get to play basketball with all these different people. Go to lunch. I think then we would have visits on weekends. So the unique thing about minimum security was that on the weekends you could have food visits, like real food from the outside. Like this is like mind-blowing the first time you walk into it. A few rules. You can't just have McDonald's and have the cup. It has to be a sealed container when you have beverages. And obviously it can't be a can. You can use the can as weapons, stab people, all this fun stuff. So it had to be a plastic bottle sealed. But kind of like anything you wanted was be allowed in. The first thing I had on my first food visit, my mom was like, anything in the world, what do you want? I'll bring it to you. Yeah. And I was like, I want a large salad, because I had not had vegetables at that time in so long. And I was like, oh my God, all I want is a salad. I think she also brought pizza or something else, but it was amazing. It's kind of like, what kind of food you want this week? And honestly, every single week I had someone come on the weekends. There's regular visits during the weekdays. I told people, if you're going to visit me, just visit me on the weekends, because I usually, like Medium, I only let one person visit me a week. So might as well come in on the food visit. My mom would come once a month on a food visit with my family. And then I had friends and other people would come on the other visits. And it kind of makes the Saturday go by a little faster. But sometimes if you have a visit, or if the visit's going to be early, or if it's going to be someone you want to look nice for, then maybe you're not working out in the morning, not to be all sweaty and everything to go down to the visit, even though the visit's not until like 1 o'clock. Sometimes also from the visits, you can't take any food back to your room. So like usually like the night before on Friday, like I would eat dinner at 5:30, then not eat anything afterwards, wake up, sometimes work out, not eat lunch. So at 1:30, I am like now starving. I could eat like whole calzone or like a half a pizza, just go into basically like a food coma, go back to your room. The good thing about minimum too, I can explain more on minimum in the future, but you have a TV in your room. You're allowed to have TVs in your room if people from the outside brought it in. Obviously, it had to be a small TV, so it was 18 inches, I think was the max. Maybe 19 inches was the max. It's still very small if you look up how big a 19-inch screen is. But it's nice to lay down on your bed and watch TV. I'd be taking naps, but a lot of time on the weekends we were playing cards, and I'm talking we were playing cards 7-8 hours a day. We're just running cards. You can see the TVs from the cards, so even if like college football's on or NFL's on and it's not the Patriots, something, you can just sit there and be watching while you're playing cards. Played spades, so that was like the number one game I always played. It's fun, super fun game. I wish I knew people that play spades in the real world, but I do not. Then night times, sometimes usually the better movies are on the weekends too. Usually they'd switch up the movie almost every day. Sometimes during the weekdays they'd replay the same movies, but the weekends always usually had really good movies. And again, movies were I think at like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Then people go to bed, and then you can do the same thing the next Sunday, waking up early and doing this and that. Obviously a few things, here and there can pass by your time. You get drug tested a lot in minimum security because you're out in the real world, so they don't exactly know what you're doing all the time at work, so they don't want to make sure that you're not doing drugs, and it's kind of like the extra drug testing. Like, you're getting drug tested 2 or 3 times a week, and the drug testing is you peeing into a toilet with a guard, and it's all mirrors around that toilet in the room with a guard behind you watching, staring at your penis the entire time. I think it sounds kind of easy, but if you can't go, you have to sit there and wait. One time I think I waited maybe 2 hours, but you just have to go, and they're watching you the entire time, which was, oh my God. I ended up signing up for the AA group, because the AA group got to go to different churches. And if you've ever been to AA before, they have like free food and stuff. So there was a super nice lady. Some people are addicts, and it's also nice to just learn about different things like that, and different ways that people live, the stuff that I never even knew. Just go there with an open mind, just listen. The lady said you didn't have to be an addict to be in AA, but she was like so excited when you would want to go, just participate in different stuff. So I started doing that towards the end of my sentence, which was great. I think it was once or twice a week. Lady would come, take us all into a van. We would go to a church, like a regular AA meeting, the whole entire group of guys. We share our stories, this and that. And everyone was respectful to us. Minimum security. Oh, I didn't mention this. Minimum security, you get to wear your own clothes. So you can only have 3 shirts that weren't white t-shirts. So basically, you wore white t-shirts every day. I wore gym shorts every day, socks and sandals basically every day. But obviously, when you're on the real world, you're wearing sneakers, you're wearing jeans or whatever, and a shirt. But we fit in just like everybody else, unless someone said something you wouldn't even know who we're with. There was some girl from a college came, and she was teaching us yoga on Sunday mornings. Hell yeah, I'll go learn yoga. We'd be outside in the front yard in the grass at like 9, 10 a.m. on a Sunday just learning yoga. Yoga's actually really cool. A different lady came in on weekends and did meditation. It's like, I would sign up for anything to get me to do something. Like, yeah, sign me up for meditation. Meditation is actually really cool. I would say yoga is definitely more fun because you get more flexible and you learn a lot of different things. But there's a lot of different just stuff that went on. I know after I left, they ended up having a program where you could like raise dogs, and have the dog be with you in your bed and all this other stuff, and kind of train them. So there's a lot of other, like, I would say, cool stuff that you can do to pass by the time, where you're not just sitting in the damn unit just like burning time away. But time just starts cranking. Like I said earlier, time starts cranking as we go by, and you get into your schedule and your routine every single day. And it really dragged towards the end when I had to go to all these classes and I was removed from work and all this other stuff. But a day in the life definitely, I would say, went way faster in minimum security than medium security. The weekends went extremely faster in minimum security than medium security. Once you get into a zone, and especially once it's football season and there's something on TV every weekend, and in the wintertime, those channels are better and different stuff, then it gets okay. And it wasn't that bad, but yeah, that's a day in the life. I'll figure out what I'm doing next week. Have a good one, guys. Good luck.